Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, we are looking at one of best game ever played in the history of the chess. This game was played between Sir Edward Lasker and Sir George Allen Thomas. They played this game in London in 1912. So if we talk about Sir Edward Lasker, yes, he was the distant cousin of Sir Emmanuel Lasker, and he was the German American international chess master. And if we talk about Sir George Allen Thomas, he was the British chess and badminton player, and he was the two-time champion of British Chess Championship. Now if we look at this game, Edward Lasker in this game was playing as a white, so he started the game with the d4, now e6, knight to f3, f5, and now Edward Lasker played a very strange move in this position, which is knight to c3. And why did I call it strange move? Because most of the player in this position would play this c4 move, but Sir Edward Lasker in this position chose to play knight to c3. But the question is why? The reason is quite simple. When you play c4, then you are focusing on this b5, c5, d5 and e5 square. But if in this position instead of c4 you play knight to c3, then you are focusing on this e4 square. And that was the reason why did Sir Edward Lasker in this position played knight to c3 move. So black continued this game with the knight to f6, bishop to g5 pinning this knight, and now bishop to e7 unpinning this knight. But if we go back, Indian is suggesting some other move, which is bishop to f4. And now let's say white play this e3, but now bishop captures on c3 check, and after b captures on c3, this pawn structure does not look good for the white. And maybe that's the reason why Indian is suggesting this move. But after bishop to g5, Sir Thomas didn't play this bishop to b4. Instead, he chose to play bishop to e7, unpinning this knight. And now Sir Edward played bishop captures on f6. Then bishop captures on f6. And after this exchange, Sir Edward Lasker again offered exchange with the e4 move. Black accepted. Pawn captures on e4, knight captures on e4, and now it looks like the best time for the black to do castling on the king side. But he didn't do the castling on the king side. In this position, he played this b6 move, opening this b7 square for this bishop, which looks like the best square for the bishop because of this beautiful and powerful diagonal. So white continued his game with the knight to e5. So stop the video and try to find why did white in this position played knight to e5, because if we go back, he can also play this bishop to d3 move, and then he can do castling on the king side. But he didn't play it. Instead, he played this knight to e5. So again, stop the video and try to find why did he played this move. So it's the general principle of the chess. When one piece move, it open lines for the other pieces. In this position, he played this knight to e5, opening this diagonal for the queen, which means Sir Edward Lasker can develop his queen with the queen to h5, giving the check. So that's the reason why in this position he played knight to e5. Sir Thomas saw this threat. That's why in this position he did castling on the king side, and white developed his last minor piece with the bishop to d3. Now bishop to b7, developing his bishop on this beautiful and powerful diagonal. But if we go one move back, then there's a move for the black with which he can win a pawn. So again, stop the video and try to find how can black win a pawn in this position. Well, the move is bishop captures on e5, and now if white in this position play d captures on e5, then after knight to c6, white cannot save this pawn in this position. So again, the question is why did black didn't play this move in this position? Maybe he didn't want to exchange his bishop in this position because this bishop is his only developed piece, which looks like a valid reason. That's why in this position he played bishop to b7. Now queen to h5, developing his queen, and again he is threatening this knight captures on f6, because knight captures on f6 comes with a check. And after knight captures on f6, this diagonal would be open for the bishop, and then Sir Edward Lasker can play this queen captures on h7, which is a very big threat. That's why to stop this threat, black in this position played queen to e7 move, because now if white in this position play knight captures on f6 check, then after g captures on f6, this queen is guarding this h7 pawn. But this queen to e7 moves turns out to be a blunder, because because now Sir Edward Lasker played a brilliant queen captures on h7, sacrificing his full queen, and now black has only one option, which is king captures on h7. Now knight captures on f6 check, and black has two options. The first one is king to h8, but then there is a beautiful and a brutal move, which is knight to g6, a double knight checkmate. Just look at this brutal checkmate. This is one of best checkmate I have ever seen in my life. And that was the reason why did black in this position didn't play king to h8. Instead he played king to h6. But again, this move is not going to save a game because now white played knight e to g4 check, and black has only one move in his pocket, which is king to g5. Now h4 check, and guess what? Black again has only one move, which is king to f4, and now g3 check, and guess what? Again black has only one move, which is king to f3. What a beautiful king hunt. King to h6, king to g5, king to h4, king to f3, and still king is running for his life. So white in this position played bishop to e2 check, and guess what? Again black has only one move, which is king to g2. Now rook to h2 check, and I don't think I need to say this again because black has only one move, which is king to g1. And now Sir Edward Lasker delivered a checkmate with a style, with a king to d2 checkmate. This is unbelievable because if we go 6 moves back, then this black king was on this h6 or h7 square, and after 6 moves he is checkmated on this g7 square. And after this checkmate, Sir Thomas said this was very nice. So I hope you like this brutal and brilliant game of Sir Thomas and Sir Edward Lasker, and if you like it, please like this video, subscribe to this channel to get more amazing and inspiring content.